Hey everybody, I'm here with a quick video on Diddy. Today his trial started and they're looking for potential jurors, okay? So listen, these jurors are being asked all kinds of questions and apparently they're being asked, do they know certain celebrities? Now let me go ahead and share a screen so we can get right into this story. So fate looms. First celebs named in Diddy trial as potential jurors are grilled on who they recognize and if they saw the Cassie beating video. The hip hop moguls admitted he's nervous on the first day of jury selection. I mean, listen, of course you're nervous. Why? Because at the end of the day, this is your life is on the line. Let me go ahead and play this video. Let's take a quick listen.
Marathons, drug abuse, and 1,000 bottles of baby oil. All the damning evidence set to appear in Sean Diddy Combs' sex trafficking trial.
In March 2024,
Federal agents raided 2 mansions in Beverly Hills and Miami. They confiscated computers, hard drives, drugs, firearms, and thousands of bottles of baby oil and lubricants. Months later, Sean Diddy Combs was arrested. He was hit with an expanded federal indictment with 5 criminal counts, including racketeering and sex trafficking. In the limelight, Diddy projected himself as a music trailblazer who went solo in the early 90s and founded Bad Boy Records in 1993, signing and successfully spearheading the careers of rap and R&B heavyweights. But behind the scenes, federal prosecutors alleged Diddy engaged in a decades-long reign of terror over his subordinates, using his fame and power to intimidate and blackmail those who opposed him. Now, Diddy, who famously goes by Puff Daddy, Puffy, and most recently Love, will stand trial at the federal courthouse in Lower Manhattan just right behind me, with jury selection slated to begin on Monday, May 5th. Here's everything you need to know about Diddy's federal trial. Prosecutors are set to call forth 4 alleged female victims, including Cassie, who was Diddy's on and off again girlfriend for over a decade. She is expected to testify about the years-long abuse and drug-fueled lifestyle Diddy allegedly forced upon her. The courtroom will also see the brutal hotel footage from March 2016, which depicts Diddy physically assaulting Cassie, slamming her to the ground, kicking and dragging her by her sweatshirt. Facing a swell of sexual assault allegations in a crumbling business empire, Diddy was forced to apologize for his actions in the footage, calling his actions, quote, disgusting.
But I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted.
It was Cassie's lawsuit against Diddy in 2023 that set the wheels in motion and sparked a federal investigation into the disgraced music producer. What followed was a series of legal filings by victims, some of whom are singers previously signed to Diddy's record label, who came forward with similar disturbing accusations. Prosecutors claim that one alleged victim, who is expected to take the stand, was allegedly forced by Diddy to undergo medical procedures related to the sex trafficking charges he's facing. Diddy has pleaded not guilty to all 5 federal counts and is awaiting trial in a federal prison in Brooklyn. If convicted, he faces a life sentence.
Ooh. If convicted, he faces a life sentence. Potential jurors in Sean Diddy Combs' sex trafficking trial are being grilled on whether they recognize any celebrities on a list of 190 names presented during jury selection. They also been asked if they've seen the horrific video of Combs 55 beating ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura as the meticulous process of seating a jury gets underway in Manhattan. Okay, there he is today, a little picture description there. His lawyer's there. Okay, they asked about Michael B. Jordan. They asked about Mike Myers. While jurors were asked about the list of celebrities remains unclear at this stage of the trial, Combs has been sitting in jail since September, awaiting trial on 5 criminal counts. The first part of his trial finally got underway on Monday as Judge Ron, the prosecution, and the Combs defense began questioning around 150 people to determine if they should serve on the jury. Potential jurors were questioned about the 190 celebrities and public figures, which included actors Michael B. Jordan and Mike Myers and rappers Kanye West and Kid Cudi, Variety reported. Destiny Child singer Michelle Williams, actor Lauren London, and singer Dawn Richard were also on the list. It isn't known why certain celebrities are named. However, Kid Cudi is believed to be a victim of an alleged 2011 car bombing by Combs. The alleged attack happened after Cudi was rumored to be romantically involved with Combs' then ex-girlfriend and star witness in the case, Cassie. One juror, identified as number 2, reportedly said he was familiar with Jordan and Myers from their films. Rapper Kanye West was also mentioned as the judge asked jurors whether views on Kanye West would make them an unfair juror. In addition to their familiarity with various celebrities, jurors were asked about their views on law enforcement, as well as more intimate questions about their sex lives and any previous history with domestic violence. Due to the allegations in the case, potential jurors will also ask whether they were or knew anyone who had been sexually assaulted. Combs turned down a plea deal days before jury selection began. He begged fellow rapper Kanye West for support after repeatedly having his $50 million bail bid denied by a judge. The music sensation was arrested in September 2024 at a New York City hotel hours after he was seen relaxing in Central Park. In March 2024, 2 of Combs' mansions were raided by federal investigators who seized 3 AR-15, drugs, and 1,000 bottles of lube, which were part of his freak-off supplies. The rest came after Combs' ex Cassie Ventura accused him in a lawsuit of physically and sexually abusing her for years. Haunting hotel surveillance video from 2016 showed Combs chasing Cassie down, punching, kicking, and beating her in a hallway. I think that video is going to sink him, right? That video is the worst part of the evidence that I think they have against him. About 90 minutes into the intense juror questioning, Combs asked the judge for a 2-minute bathroom break. "I'm sorry, Your Honor, I'm a little nervous today," Combs said. The hip-hop mogul sported a different look in court as he was permitted to wear street clothes rather than his baggy jail uniform. He arrived in court at 9 a.m. in dark glasses and a dark sweater. A half hour later, jury selection began. Iran, that's the judge, had already excused several juror candidates before lunch was called. The judge excused one person who called the video of Combs dragging and kicking Cassie in the hotel hallway damning. Combs' lawyer also fought to remove a woman who worked for HBO as the media company recently released a documentary called The Fall of Diddy. Iran overruled the attempt as the woman did not have any involvement in the making of the film. High-profile trial. The trial is expected to last 8 weeks, with opening arguments expected to take place on Monday, on May 12th. All jury members will remain anonymous, as is standard in high-profile cases. Combs faces life in prison if he is convicted of the charges against him. It emerged at a final pretrial hearing that he turned down a plea deal, which would likely mean less time in jail. Combs has insisted he's innocent ever since his arrest last year. He was taken into custody in New York in September after an explosive indictment by a federal grand jury. The indictment included a raft of disturbing accusations, including that Combs orchestrated days-long drug-filled sex parties that he forced victims to take part in. He would fly in sex workers for days of rancherous sections, which he called freak-offs, prosecutors claim. Once at the party, workers would be coerced through money and intimidated into performing sick, non-consensual acts, the indictment said. Combs organized and directed these parties in part, prosecutors allege, so he could record the sex acts while he pleasured himself. After days of nonstop drug use and drinking, participants were often mailed IV bags to help recover from the freak-offs, according to the indictment. Now, this mailing of the IV bag. So first of all, that would mean he had to have had your address, right? Because where are you mailing it to? So you have alleged S workers who gave up their mailing address so that they could get these IVs mailed to them. And okay, so you got an IV mailed to you. You're administering this thing yourself. Do you see how crazy this sounds? I'm not saying that it's true or untrue. Because some people, I think they just see the title of my video. They don't really listen to what I'm saying in the video. And they're like, oh my God, you just want him to get off? People, please. What I want is justice to happen here. And does this make sense to you? I'm an S worker. I just got forced into some stuff. And allegedly, I was all drugged up or whatever while this was happening. Did I give my address before this started or after? So that I could get mailed this IV bag. This sounds crazy to me, but that's me. That's diva thoughts. Let me know yours, right? The indictment also revealed that the Fed seized 1,000 bottles of lubricant and baby oil from Combs' homes, along with a stash of narcotics allegedly used during his sex parties. They raided his mansions in Los Angeles and Miami as part of the probe into the alleged sex trafficking. The evidence against Sean Diddy Combs. 3 months long federal sex trafficking probe against Sean Combs has culminated in a Syrian indictment that was unsealed on Tuesday. Combs has been hit with 1 count of racketeering and 1 count of sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, and 1 count of transportation to engage in prostitution. But behind those legal charges lies a mountain of alleged evidence of menace, violence, and horrific abuse of his fame, the indictment alleges. Combs abused, threatened, and coerced women and others around him to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. He created a criminal enterprise whose members and associates engaged in and attempted to engage in, among other crimes, sex trafficking, forced slavery, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. This piece right here, why are not those other people in said enterprise arrested and being charged also? The rapper assaulted women by striking, punching, dragging, throwing objects at, and kicking. They're talking about Cassie for sure in that bullet. Combs manipulated women to participate in highly orchestrated performances of sexual activity with male commercial workers that he called freak-offs. Freak-offs occur regularly, sometimes lasting multiple days, and often involve multiple commercial sex workers. During freak-offs, he distributed a variety of controlled substances to victims, in part to keep the victims obedient and compliant. After freak-offs, Combs and the victims typically received IV fluids to recover from the physical exertion and the drug use. In March 2024, during searches of his residence in Miami and Los Angeles, law enforcement seized various freak-off supplies, including narcotics and more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. During his separate from freak-offs, Combs hit, kicked, threw objects at, and dragged victims at times by the hair. These assaults often resulted in injuries that took days or weeks to heal. He also used the sensitive, embarrassing, and incriminating recordings that he made during the freak-offs as collateral to ensure the continued obedience and silence of the victims. Combs himself brandished firearms to intimidate and threaten others, including victims of and witnesses to his abuse. During searches of his homes, law enforcement seized firearms and ammunition, including 3 AR-15s with defaced serial numbers, as well as a drum magazine. Associates assisted him in locating and contacting victims who attempted to flee his abuse. Why are those associates not arrested? When witnesses to the abuse threaten his authority or reputation, he and members and associates of the enterprise engaged in acts of violence, threats of violence, threats of financial and reputational harm, verbal abuse. These acts of violence, including kidnapping and arson. Listen, this case is going to be interesting to say the least. The jurors, are being asked all kinds of questions. I don't know how you get a fair, impartial jury for this case, but listen, they've done it in other high-profile cases. Diddy said he was nervous with just jury selection. Googly mind. How is he going to get when a former person is up on that stand speaking against him? Listen, guys, chat with me in the comments, and when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. hit the notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you will be notified. If you are a subscriber, welcome back. Everybody, thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts on the questions that are being asked of these jurors. And do you think that they're going to find a good mix of a jury? They're not going to tell us. We're probably not going to know until after the trial is over. But if I had to take a guess right now, because I saw some of the potential jurors going in, I'm feeling like this thing might be 50-50. It might be 6 females and 6 males. That's what I'm feeling right now. But, you know, these are all just diva thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. So chat with me. I'll chat back. I'll see you in the next video.